Hey everybody, this is a short video on how to fix or modify or repair your, what's it called? It's called the Rebound coin. If you want to get one of these, they're only about $7 or $8 on AliExpress. Just search for the term Rebound coin and you'll get at least 2 different stores. And this is all it does. I did a short review a few days or maybe a week or 2 ago on this, and some of the comments were, this is just nothing more than like a Snapple cap. And yeah, it is, but it's a lot fancier. I certainly like the looks of this better than a Snapple cap. I don't know if you could get the same effect with a Snapple cap, maybe if you put 2 of them together with tape. Not sure, but this is supposed to be stainless steel, I believe it is, and it's very pleasing. In fact, this is one of the few that I showed my dad, and right away he's like, "Ooh, I like that. I'd really like one of those. Can you order one for me?" It was this one and the Mackie CP3 Nano, the little Nano. I should have brought that over to show you. But those two both, he saw those, and he's 74, but he appreciates my hobby, I guess. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I like that. I'd really like to have one of those." So I gave him mine right away and then ordered a new one. This time I ordered 2 more of these, and we're gonna see how hard it is. I might give up partway through. I tried to get this one apart. This one, I don't know if I had this one apart yet, but the other one I did. But the problem is, if you didn't see the last video, nice cheap toy, but after hard use, and I don't think I was abusing it, but one side pushed in and then stayed pushed in. And I could pop it back out by pushing the other side because the air pressure would pop it out. But then eventually, because you can squeeze both sides at the same time, eventually both sides compressed in, concave, and stayed that way. And I was forced to take it apart to figure out what was going on. Unfortunately, it does come apart. It's just a press fit. Like I said, this one was pretty darn tight. So if I suddenly pause and move to the other one, well, you'll know what's going on. But the idea is you want to try to get a grip on this outer ring and then push on the inside part. And you'll slowly hear it start to crack. Let's see here. As it just gives up a little bit at a time. I'm not even in the darn lens of the camera, am I? There we go. Very slowly. Work your way around the outside edge. Just be patient with it. The other one might have been this tight too when I started. Okay, almost there we go. There we go. Just keep working your way around. There we go. So you have a ring, stainless steel ring, and this, which now I've accidentally pushed in. So you see I've done it. And there, by pushing on the back side, I was able to pop it back out again. In the process, I think I just put a little dent in there too. That's possible. I noticed that on the first one that I had. I think I did slightly. That's not permanent. It's not pretty, but hey, it's $7 or $8. And it doesn't stop it from functioning. But now you have this part, which is another little sandwich of pressed metals, and that should pop apart if you do the same thing. You might have to work your way around the outside. Oh, I'm bleeding a little bit there, excuse me. But once you get inside, it's hollow, and we can start to do what we need to do. So like I said, get yourself some of this 1/8 inch thick or 1/16 inch thick foam at Walmart or your hobby store, and get yourself a nice hole punch and go to town. Make yourself some little discs. I only need 5. You could do 5 or 6. I had 6 into initially. And then I decided that I was going to take one out because I thought it felt a little too muffled. But here we have a bunch of little foam discs, and the next thing we can do is put them onto a side of the coin. And I want to do that as close to the center as I can. Just get this little piece of metal out here. This will be a nice flat surface for me to do this, because underneath here this is a felt pad, a black felt pad. So you want to get it as close to the center as you can. You can do that once I take the adhesive tape off the back. I'll put it back on here, but once it's on there you can sort of give it a little spin and you'll see if it's off center or not. And you know what, before I do that, I do need to go get my tweezers, so let me just pause for that. Okay, now we've got a nice pair of tweezers to work with. So you just want to take off the adhesive backing and then try to plop this down as close as you can in the center. Oh, geez, oh, Pete's. Maybe I should just stick with, yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to just eyeball it, and I'm going to put it on there lightly. And I'm going to give it a little spin. You know what, that's close enough to center for me. Push down on it good. Get another one here. Easy to get the backing off, it's just tricky to hold on to the tiny little piece of foam now. This one I need to look at it straight on, just like pancake. Whoops, that didn't work like I planned. You know what, I need to look straight down on it. There we go. There's two pieces. It doesn't have to be precise. I'm being too picky here. Okay. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Well, it's very forgiving. That's the one thing. You can just keep moving these around until you're happy. There, I'm pretty happy with that. So 3 on one side. This side, you don't have to pop this off. If it's on there, you can leave it on there. But I'm just going to put 2 on this side. How does that look? That's a little too off center. Yeah, that's good. Okay. One last piece. Again, 3 pieces of foam on this side, 2 pieces of foam on this side. You could do 6 if you want, but where'd that get to? There it is. I thought 6 was a little bit too much. And now another thought on this was, it's very convenient that you can just use a hole punch and get these nice round little pieces that are stackable. But I also tried, if you remember the video I did before, the piece that I gave to my dad, it had a piece of 1/4 inch thick foam on both sides, and it was very roughly cut with scissors. It was a little square, and it was about 3/8 of an inch square, I think. And that was just enough to do the job then, but I wanted to sort of refine that a little bit. It's through my experimenting, I found out that at work we have a machine that you can punch out different size discs from material and everything. I took some foam and punched out some discs that were almost the same diameter as this inside impression here, almost covering up the whole part that pops in. And when I put it all back together again and tried to push the button, it was too muffled, way too muffled, and it was just too much foam. And I came to the conclusion that the less foam, the better, and the closer to the center, the better, because that's what keeps it from getting compressed and not coming back. But now, when we put these 2 pieces back together, on the inside, they line up with each other. Now this sticks together good enough, tight enough that you can test it before you put it back together again. So I like that. That's good. That's good. So I want to show you something else before we put it back together again. If you want to, you could try this. I have a collection of steel balls now, so these are 5mm balls. The more common ones are 4mm. That's what you see in a lot of the sliders that we have now. But these were a little bit bigger, a little bit more mass. They seem to work better. 3 5mm balls. Drop them in there. And what you end up with is this. So, whoops. Same exact setup. This one has the same exact number of foam pieces on the inside in the middle, and 3 of these 5mm balls. I am not going to keep those in there. I just thought it would be something fun to show you. If that was in your pocket, walking along, at the very least, you'd sound like this when you walked. So I'm not into rattles that much, but it is kind of neat that you get that going. That's kind of neat. So there you have it. Let's finalize this, put her back together again without the balls. And you just want to be careful. Just put this together nice and slow. You don't want it to caulk in on one side and have the other side stick out. Slowly work your way around the outside. Now it's getting hung up a little bit on that lid. I think we can get past it. Feels like, yep. So it's just a matter of slowly adjusting. And that's nice and tight now. That's not gonna come apart. Still has a nice clacky sound to it. And now I'm almost certain that it will not compress and stay that way again, because I carried this one around without the balls in it, but I carried this around today at work, and I was doing both sides at the same time. One side, then I'd flip it over, do the other side, and every trip I took across the warehouse, it must have been hundreds of times that got clicked today, and it's holding up really good. So I think that's a good solution. Yeah, I think these are worth it, and I think, you need to do this modification. Unless you're really light with it, if you're very careful with it and everything, then maybe you won't ever have a problem with it. But if you're rough with it, then this is going to need to be done. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found it useful and entertaining. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.